Welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric, and this is, as you probably already noticed, a bit of a different video. No car review itself today, but rather the 2022 GC Cars Awards. And you might be thinking, it's May. Why are we doing the 2022 awards so late? Well, my work, like my 9 to 5, got pretty busy towards the end of the year and started the 2023 year, so I kind of had a bit of a backlog that I had to work on in videos. So the question was, okay, do I upload it by the end of the year, but like half the Cars Ticket Awards haven't even been seen by you, or do we wait? And I put that to a poll, and you guys decided to wait. So here we are. The Volvo just was uploaded on Friday. That was the last video I have from 2022. From now it's all 23 forwards. And now we have time for the GC Cars Awards. But before we do that, as you might have seen in the title and the thumbnail, I said there's a big announcement. And the fact is, since 2020, I have been making my own videos, my own car reviews here on YouTube, and I'm gonna stop doing them alone because I figured it would be more fun if we have a co-host. So that is a little bit experimental. That is a trial. You guys have to give us feedback, and there will be a bit of a learning process to that. But starting from the next review, next Friday, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we're gonna have a co-host. So it's gonna be me and Jesse that are gonna make those reviews. You've actually seen Jesse in a few of the videos, just kind of for B-roll maybe. But yeah, he's joining, and from the videos we've recorded so far, I think it works really well. I think it makes the videos more dynamic, and I think you're gonna like them even more going forward. And it's always great to have a second perspective. So next Friday, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we're gonna upload the Ford F-150 Lightning review. And that's gonna be the first review with Jesse, and all of them forward, gonna have him in. But let's get to the actual awards. And we have 5 minor awards and 3 major awards. Starting off, I was gonna explain them very briefly, and then we have third, second, and first, and I might give a bit of context as to why the cars placed the way they are. And then in the end, we're gonna just keep moving on until we hit the big awards, and the biggest one being the GC Cars Choice Award. But starting off with Best Sound, that's pretty straightforward a category. Which vehicles sounded the best? Third place, Ford F-150 Raptor. So the Raptor, actually, I needed to kind of think about this one because the Raptor did sound really cool, but at the same time it was a V6. And the ZR2 did sound amazing with the 6.2 liter V8. But I gave the Raptor some points, first of all, because for a twin turbo V6, it sounds really nasty. And secondly, I didn't want to give the 6.2 liter V8 from Cadillac and GM a 1, 2, and 3 finish. So there you go, Ford. Get your third place. Second place, Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. And it'll manage. We just have to shift. Holy, sounded amazing. I love the supercharger whine, although I loved it if it would be just a little more pronounced. And winner, obviously, the Chevy Camaro SS1LE. One last second. Final thoughts. Absolutely incredible sounding, very raw, natural V8 sound. It's just beautiful. Beautiful car, beautiful sound. Loved it. Now we come to two design categories. First of all, best exterior, and then best interior design. So for those 2 design categories, it's important to keep in mind that this does not mean the best interior or best exterior in terms of look. This means basically making the most of what they have. So for example, if somebody makes a minivan that's really good looking, they might win an award. But if you make a coupe that's really good looking, but for a coupe, I mean, a coupe naturally looks better, you know, I might give it to the minivan. It's just, in context, it needs to look good, right? Same for interior. Here we often go by pricing. So of course the $100,000 car is going to have a nicer interior, but if the $50,000 car is like just this shy of it, the $50,000 car is going to get the award. Starting off with best exterior design. In third place, we have the Ford Bronco, because the Bronco captures the essence of the previous Broncos. I think it's the first gen, right? It kind of is inspired by a lot. Extremely well. It's very nostalgic and very kind of historic looking. They transferred it very well into a modern car with all the safety regulations and fuel economy stuff met. So great looking car. I think Ford did a great job. Well deserved award. Second place, the new Nissan Z. Huge fan of how the new Nissan Z looks. Not necessarily of how it drives, but it's stunning. It looks like a 240Z with a bit of 300Z in there. 3ZX, ZX, GT? I forgot what it was called. 300ZX. Anyhow, looks great. Deserved. But the Best Exterior Design Award for the 2022 GC Cars Award goes to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. And that's where you see it play. It's not the prettiest car in the segment or for all the cars we've driven, but it is certainly quite out there. I love how they went a completely different direction from anyone else. Hyundai, and they're carving out their own kind of styling right now. It is a very cool looking vehicle, and it's like nothing else out on the road. Kind of the retro pixelated look, 80s kind of inspired. Bring that into the new car, but also making it futuristic. Hands down the probably coolest exterior design that we've tested in 2022. So I think very clearly a very deserved award for Hyundai here. So congrats, Hyundai. Also, these awards aren't like super serious. Like I do think about the spreadsheet quite a bit for a couple of days, but like it's not like I have like an actual award. So it's just kind of like, good job, Hyundai. Feel free to tweet about it though and promote me. Anyhow, best interior design once again. Better is subjective, context matters. Third place, the Cadillac Escalade. I once again thought about this one a little bit and was like, okay, which one did I take? Because there were quite a few nice looking cars and nice interiors. And the Escalade is expensive, so you expect it to be nice. But the Escalade is an amazing vehicle. It is so incredibly comfortable. It is so incredibly spacious. The screens up front with the old triple OLED displays, it looks fantastic. It is very usable, and I think they deserve a third place in these awards. Second place goes to the Genesis GV80. Genesis actually won the exterior and interior design categories, I think, last year, but just fell short just a tiny bit this time, simply because, well, we tested the GV80, which is a bit older than the GV70, but we find many of the similar design categories and kind of design language cues, let's say it like that. In the GV80, it was the blue and kind of tan interior. It's just beautiful shapes. Once again, very different from what you find on the market from other manufacturers and kind of distinctively Korean. Very nice interior, and I think totally deserved, might have all been in contention for the first place actually. But, and this might be a bit of a surprise, although I hinted at it in the original review of that vehicle, the 2022 GC Cars Best Interior Design Award goes to the Ford Maverick. By far probably one of the least impressive interiors from a material standpoint, but what they were able to do with the materials and the low price point of the Maverick is fantastic. First of all, it looks great despite being pretty much a sea of plastic, and it feels good at the same time. And what really gave them the award is just the amount of thought they put into that car's interior, because everything is usable. Everything is incredibly useful. You have like so many slots to put phones in or other accessories. You have huge amounts of cargo within the interior, and then even if you go outside of the interior, you have stuff like 3D printable accessory slots everywhere, and it's very well thought out. And I'm very glad that Ford decided not to just kind of copy a Ford Escape interior and put it into a Maverick, but instead really thought about, okay, this is a small, compact pickup truck. How do we make it as useful as possible? Well-deserved award, I think, for the Maverick here. Now, best tech is not very subjective. It's very straightforward of category. Best driving and interior tech wins this over. And the third place goes to the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Well, the Jeep didn't have many standout features per se. It offered like a really nice combination of all the things you want to have in a car, including ventilated and massaging seats and all that. The infotainment and gauge cluster were pretty nice and responsive. We had a HUD. But what made them win the third place was that it was the only car equipped this year with a night vision camera, so a thermal camera essentially. And that is incredibly useful tech. The next two cars do offer the same. So the second place and the first place do offer the same tech. They weren't equipped with it, but that is huge, like hugely influential tech. And I hope it makes its way down to cheaper cars eventually, because being able to see everything in the dark, being able to spot that deer that's out in the field like half a kilometer down is extremely important, and seeing through rain, seeing through fog is really cool. So Jeep Grand Cherokee, I think, a well-deserved third place award. Second place goes to the Cadillac Escalade, and here I was second and first. I had to take a long time to think about, okay, who deserves this award. The Escalade actually would have won last year if I didn't have to scrap that review for other reasons. The Escalade with the OLED screen once again, and the other tech is really nice. What gave it the second place and almost gave it the first place is Super Cruise. The autonomous, the autonomous driving tech, the level 2 autonomous driving system is just absolutely incredible. Blue Cruise and Active Glide from Lincoln Ford do not compete whatsoever. No other competitor on the North American market right now offers what GM offers with Super Cruise. It is incredible. It is great. It is hands-off tech, working on pretty much every highway on the continent. And I've never had it fail. I've never had it fail. It's easy to use. Very awesome. First place though, and even though that car does not offer self-driving tech here, I consider that it offers the very first level 3 autonomous system where you can actually be distracted. You can be on your phone or whatever you want in Germany. And they're working on getting it offered in the US and then eventually here in Canada. But the 2023 GCCars Best Tech Award winner is the Mercedes-Benz EQS. I've had many issues with that car, and while it was really good, I had my complaints. That's what I mean with issues. There wasn't any tech faults with it. But there's no denying that the tech itself inside the EQS is very impressive. The Hyperscreen, like it or hate it, is really cool. It's really well integrated. MBUX, especially with the new one-layer design and theme, is by far the best infotainment on the market. Nothing else comes even close. The HUD was enormous, literally projecting arrows on the streets for you, so you know exactly where you need to turn. It's great. And once the level 3 autonomous driving does come over here, it'll take others quite a bit to catch up, I think, to Mercedes in terms of tech. So very well deserved award here. Now, the last of the small categories is the best value, and best value is not just cheapest wins, but you know, considering the competitors, who wins here. And this category is always a little difficult because when we always test top trim levels, then we might get one vehicle that is a mid trim, and then naturally the mid trim might not be as good as the top trim levels competitors, but it'll offer a better value. So I always try to accommodate for that, right? But probably the first car will be quite a surprise because it clocks in at $85,000. The number 3 best value award winner is the Chevy Silverado ZR2. It's not cheap. It's actually quite a lot of money, but comparing it to its competitor, the Raptor, the Silverado ZR2 is quite capable. The ZR2 offers about 90% of the capability of a Raptor for about, was it like 75% of the price, I think. Comparing it to the Tremor, which is priced similarly, it is way more capable off-roading, and I think that was enough to win it the Best Value Award. Second place goes to the Honda Civic. New Honda Civic, it's a Civic you're expected to win a value award, and so it does. It's a great car. If you don't need everything in a car, you just want to have a reliable, comfortable commuter, the Civic's great. Second place, because it's cheap. First place goes to the Ford Maverick. So Ford Maverick is the 2023 GCCars Best Value Award winner. And once again, it created a new segment together with the Santa Cruz, but the Santa Cruz was more of a lifestyle vehicle. The Maverick really is the kind of like utilitarian approach to the compact pickup truck. We'll see if we see more competitors down the road, but the Maverick is extremely popular, especially in the hybrid option. It is an extremely cheap yet capable vehicle that even I would consider if I were in the market for a car at the moment. I'm not, especially not for a compact SUV, but a compact pickup, but it's really cool. Great value, lovely car that Ford put out there. But with that, let's go to the 3 big categories, the 3 big awards. And the first one is the best enthusiast car. That's pretty straightforward. Which car was the most fun to drive? Not including off-roaders, because we went off-roading like 4 times, so naturally like that would be kind of hard. And one of the Bronco Sports, so it would be kind of an unnecessary list. If we go more off-roading this year, hey, maybe we'll include them in the best enthusiast car. We'll make a best off-roader category. But for now, they are excluded. Number 3, as best enthusiast car, the Mercedes-AMG CLA 35. I needed to think about that one a little bit. I wasn't too sure if I picked that one because we had the Veloster N, which was really nice. We had the EcoBoost, which, yes, it wasn't a GT, but it was still pretty fun. And we had the Z. giving a quick reasoning on all of them why they did not get third place. The Z is the Z, and I had many complaints with it and many issues. They need to fix it. I hope they do, because they have all the basic ingredients to make this a fantastic sports car. But as it is right now, it's not a good sports car. So the Z's out. The Mustang EcoBoost, it was fun, and I did have a good time, and because it is manual, naturally it's just amazing. But dynamically, it was just not as good as, for example, the CLA 35. So that's why, especially as a convertible, it just doesn't really compete as well in this category. Still a great car though. The Veloster N, I love the Ns. We're gonna have more Ns coming very soon. But it being front wheel drive and not being the manual, we had the DCT, which is good, but it's just not the manual, meant that it was just not quite as fun as the actual third place, the CLA 35, which had a nice amount of horsepower, just over 300 horsepower, which for a car that size is quite good. Had the dual clutch transmission that shifted very well. It was a lot of fun. The sound was, even for a four-banger, honestly really good. It was quite enjoyable, little rocket, and I liked it. It was point and shoot too. Would I like a little bit more drama in it? Yeah, but it was a great car. I had a lot of fun in it, and it was yellow, so what's not love? Literally pro. How you can win my heart over just make your car yellow. Second place. Probably the next two are, once again, very predictable. The Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. Amazing car. You take a luxury sedan, put a V8 in it, supercharge and give it a manual. Like, what's not to love? Amazing. But it is still a sedan, so it won't ever be as engaging as the 2023 GCCars Best Enthusiast Car Award winner, the Chevy Camaro SS1 LE. The Camaro is on its way out. We know that it's got about 8 months left of production, and then it's gone, which is a shame because it is, quite frankly, the best sports car I've ever driven. It is absolutely fantastic, but it is compromised. We know that. We talked about that quite a lot, and we talked about the reasons why the Camaro failed, the 6th gen Camaro failed in terms of sales. But that doesn't matter for the best enthusiast car category. The Camaro was amazing. It was dynamically potent. It was able to dance. It was able to carve corners in ways that other cars can't, while still being extremely communicative. It had the manual. It was just really the best sports car I've ever driven. So very well deserved award. But now let's get to the big one, the major one, and that's the GCCars Choice Award. That's a bit more of a subjective category. That's kind of like awarding the cars that I think deserve an award for various reasons. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth here in terms of why these cars won. The third place in the GCCars Choice Award, which, by the way, third place here is probably worth more than first in any of the other categories, is the Cadillac Escalade. The Escalade has been out for a few years. It is not entirely perfect, but is the only car that ever made me as relaxed as that one. So like you drive the Escalade and just forget about all your worries. And yes, we've been in very expensive, way more expensive Mercedeses. We've been in all the other, well, most of the other luxury products, and the Escalade just stands above them all so far. I haven't had BMW and Audi, fair enough, but they're really good. The Escalade, with a combination of tech, a fantastic drivetrain with a 6.2 liter V8, and comfort and just presence and image. I love the Escalade. I always want one. And yeah, very clear choice for my number 3 spot. The number 2 slot goes to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. We've been through the reasons. It's great. I love it. Bold design. Good job. But probably predictably, the number 1 choice, the winner for the 2022 GCCars Choice Award, is the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. It's a car that should not exist anymore. It is everything, well, it's the complete opposite of what we have in the car market today and where the car market is moving. It's a luxury sedan that's rear-wheel drive with a V8 manual. It's stupid. It shouldn't exist. It is absolutely ridiculous and bonkers to drive, but it is dynamically capable. It is more comfortable than an E63 at the same time. It's fantastic. It's a car that just doesn't exist out there aside from the Blackwing, and that's why I crowned it and said it's the best car in the world, personally. So yeah, there you go. Those are my 2022 GCCars Awards. I hope you enjoyed a bit of a different video, of course, and a bit more, I guess, data-based. But you know me, like I said, I'm German. I like my data. But like I said, big changes coming with the introduction of a co-host, so make sure to check that video out coming Friday at 8:15 a.m. or check it out any point on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, well, whenever you want. Further from 50 Lighting will also be a very interesting product, so I think you are going to like that just as my fridge starts working, so thank you for that. Also, if you're missing the POVs, you might be thinking like, where are all the POVs? Well, I decided to not upload them on the main channel. Like algorithm based. It has to do with the YouTube algorithm, and basically, if I upload more videos, but they're kind of more varied, it's bad for the algorithm, so I had to scrap them. But I'm still making them on a new channel, GCCars POVs. Or POV, actually I haven't created the channel. If you check out my POVs, if you want to see my POVs, well, they're right there. I'll upload them every couple of days. There will be a new POV to Test Drive on there. And here on GCCars, you'll see all the reviews as per usual. Still got to catch up to do, and then we'll hopefully get into like a pretty good rhythm. And I can tell you already, we've already driven some very cool cars this year, and there's going to be a lot more cool cars coming because, well, it's May, sports car season is starting, and off-roading season, so stay tuned. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for all your support in the last year and beyond, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.